Hello and welcome to the movie podcast review of The Lost City. My name is Daniel, and joining alongside me today are my fellow cover models.
Oh. Twist. What a twist.
Shahbaz.
Hey, Daniel.
And Anthony.
Hello. I realized mine was a little bit too sinister. Like, I apologize.
No, yours was like almost too like seductive.
Was it too seductive?
It was a little too seductive. I was just like, ooh,
sorry.
Ooh, got to chill there.
Yours was more like, I'm stalking you.
Yeah, yours was all like, I finished stalking you.
Mine's like,
I'm in jail now.
I'm in jail now.
hey guys.
Anthony, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well.
Shahbaz, how are you doing today?
You know what? I'm doing really, really well.
Oh, okay. That's a one-up
day because the weather's nice, and we had a good day today. We had a good day.
We did have a good day because today we got to what happened today. Let's talk about it. We got to speak to some of the creative people behind the show Moon Knight, which you'll be able to hear our interview for and our review for very, very soon. And then we got to watch this movie, which is The Lost City, which we'll be talking about very, very soon.
That's true.
But as always, you can catch a brand new episode of the Movie Podcast every single Monday. There's a new one out right now that you can listen to where we give our Oscar predictions. You can also catch our reviews throughout the week for all the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us at The Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. And don't forget to leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, join our Discord, and write into the show at hello
at TheMoviePodcast.ca.
Check out our show notes for all of those links and more. Anthony's also been doing some pretty cool things on the YouTube. Anthony, what have you been doing?
I've been taking our episodes and posting them on YouTube. That's it.
That's pretty cool.
You know what? You set it up to be this really extravagant thing, and then Anthony just kind of tore it down.
I literally just, Anthony's been doing some pretty amazing things with our YouTube channel.
I went to this scientist guy, and he told me
Anthony's like, I plugged in my computer, and I hit play.
Why is he a poor British boy now?
Well, I just assume that's where he's from, you know?
Oh, no. Shay's doing an accent. We're in trouble now.
Oh, no.
We're in trouble now.
Dear, we are in trouble now.
But definitely, there's lots of great reviews that you could listen to on the Movie Podcast feed, like our review for The Batman, Turning Red, Deep Water, X, The Atom Project, and so much more. Definitely give those a listen. Also, while you're there, we're really lucky that we get to talk to the humans that make the things that we love. So go check out our interview with Academy Award-winning director Domi Shi, producer Lindsay Collins, and actress Maitri Ramakrishnan from Turning Red. We also had Mike Marino, who's a prosthetic makeup designer for the film The Batman. He's also nominated for an Oscar. So a week from now, he may be an Oscar winner.
He could be.
Or he may be an Oscar loser, but it doesn't matter.
Yes.
Because he was Oscar nominated for life.
And that's all that matters.
That is all that matters.
We could go 2 for 2.
Yeah, Mike Rianda
as well too, friend of the show. Go listen to that episode on the Mitchells versus the Machine. See, we have a lot. We've had so many guests on the show. We're really blessed on the show, I think.
Oh, I think so, 100%.
We're forever grateful for everybody who's been listening and supporting, and people who are spending their time to come and talk to us. But today is all about the movie The Lost City. I want to say thank you to our friends at Paramount Pictures for inviting us to watch this film. You can catch it this Friday, March 25th in theaters, and the film stars Sandra Bullock, Channing Tatum, Daniel Radcliffe, and Brad Pitt. Shay, I'm going to get you to give us a synopsis for the film.
Brilliant but reclusive author Loretta Sage, played by Sandra Bullock, has spent her career writing about exotic places in her popular romance adventure novels featuring handsome cover model Alan, played by Channing Tatum, who has dedicated his life to embodying the hero character Dash. While on tour promoting her new book with Alan, Loretta is kidnapped by an eccentric billionaire played by Daniel Radcliffe, who hopes that she can lead him to the ancient city's lost treasure from her latest story.
So we got a trailer for this film, I feel, a few months ago, and I think we were all impressed with this. Like, this looks like just like a fun film.
Yeah.
Anthony, get us started with your first reaction to The Lost City.
Growing up, I was a huge fan of Romancing the Stone. And this is what this movie kind of felt like. It felt like Romancing the Stone with Michael Douglas and I think it's Kathleen Turner. It had the comedy, it had the action adventure, had all those things that kind of like we forgot about or we haven't seen in a really long time. So I really enjoyed my time with The Lost City. It was surprisingly funny, and surprisingly really like action oriented, interesting story. My biggest, I guess, complaint was the second half of this film kind of felt like it transitioned into more of a romance story rather than the funny comedy that we got in the first half.
Definitely loses some steam, I think, in just the pacing as well.
Yes, 100%. It just became like a completely different side of a film, and there were some continuity errors that I noticed. And other than that, like I still think it was not a great movie. I would say it's a good movie to watch. It's super funny. Channing Tatum does a really good job of playing this. Not that he portrays this heroic, muscle man on Sandra Bullock's books, but in real life he's really like, he's clumsy, he doesn't know what to do, he's just like a regular guy that's been thrown in. And kind of like, because I mentioned Romancing the Stone, where Michael Douglas is the charming, we'll say mercenary who whips up all these amazing adventures for the character he's with. Channing's not that person, so it's just this different idea of that adventurer that he eventually becomes.
Right, and it's funny because Brad Pitt pretty much plays that role in this, right? Brad Pitt is like the good-looking guy with the long hair, who's there to saves the day, knows exactly what to do, how to find her, how to get to her. And I wish we had more time with Brad Pitt in this movie, because every scene that he's in, he's hilarious. And I would love to see Brad Pitt in a full-blown comedy one day. Just full on, just embrace being funny, because I think Brad Pitt has such a fun delivery. We got a little taste of him in Deadpool 2.
And Burn After Reading.
Like he has such great comedic timing, and in this film especially, there's that line in the trailer where like they're like, "Why you're so good looking?" He's like, "Thanks, my dad was a weatherman." Like it's just very funny, and I think this movie exists, almost in the same realm of comedy as like something like Game Night or 21 Jump Street.
It's almost there.
It's almost there. It's so close to being meta. It's especially that first half of the film. You feel that those comedy tones, like oh, this feels like it's going to be playing within this world, and then it kind of shifts gears in the second half and definitely loses that pace.
Yeah, I think that's where I kind of like I fall in this hole where it's like I really like the first half, but that second half really like it brought it down.
Yeah, because it's all about where the movie leaves you sometimes, right? Yeah. We could forgive, a slower first half if the second half picks up, but not so much the other way around each time. Yeah. Shay, where are you at with this film?
Yeah, no, pretty much the same as you guys. I think the first half really kind of leaned into the absurdity of what this movie is, and I wish that the second half did the same thing too. The second half takes a big stop on the pacing and kind of just tries to develop these characters further when we don't need that at this point. We kind of already figured them out. We know what's next. But I think you can easily trim about 20 minutes off this film, make it a cool hour and a half, make it fun, action-packed, and also throw in enough comedy in there that it feels like it's self-aware. And that's the problem with the film. It starts to, in the second half, forget all the silly things that the first half was doing. The fact that, Daniel Radcliffe, who honestly I think did a great job. I had my doubts about him because sometimes he can be not as intimidating.
Yeah, he's hamming it up in this for sure.
He's hamming it up a bit, and he's having fun with the role, I can tell. Channing Tatum, always a pleasure when it comes to comedies. He does a great job. And Sandra Bullock is, she's always been funny in comedies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So nothing new. And you're right. Brad Pitt definitely steals the show. But I really wish this movie leaned more into that. I think whenever it kind of cut back to, I'm forgetting her name, but her publicist.
Yeah.
Divine Joy Randolph.
Who the character's name? Sorry.
Beth.
That's it.
Yeah.
Anytime it kind of cut back to her, the movie really took a big slowdown, and it didn't help. Like it would have made more sense if she just showed up at the end of the film.
Yeah,
kind of, because at that point you believe whatever this movie is going to throw at you because it's already been so silly from the beginning. But they tried to kind of create some realistic tones and throw in this, adventure that you didn't need to go too deep into.
Yeah, and I think that's again like it's we're all kind of in agreement here where we are with it. This movie starts off, and again, this is not a spoiler because you see this in the trailer, where Sandra Bullock's character is kind of writing the scene. Right, she's in a scenario and she's like, okay, we're in a cave and there's snakes, and then she's kind of, as things are happening, she's kind of removing them from the scene and deleting them because they see that they don't make sense. And it was a really cool idea that almost reminded me like of Walter Mitty, where like they're thinking about the scene, or even in Sherlock Holmes, as weird of a reference as that is, the Robert Downey Jr. one, where he's seeing ahead what to do, and and I would have loved if they leaned into that more in this movie, especially if you have a character who is a writer first and foremost, who's being thrusted into this adventure. It would have been cool to see her want to play it out. Okay, what could I do in this scene? No, and then you see all the different scenarios, right? Maybe that was the original plan, or maybe we're just making up some fan fiction right now, but it would have been, I think, cool to see her as a protagonist of this film, as the leader of this film, who is, we keep being told how big of a writer she is and things like that, and then it relies too much on her, I guess, background on archaeology and all of that stuff, which kind of comes into play out of the blue a little bit. It's just kind of, there's a lot of just drops of composition, exposition. Yeah, I was like, what am I saying? Exposition dumps all the time in this movie.
You kind of you feel that because you're like, oh, she's a romance novelist, but she also has like some sort of background in archaeologist from a past relationship.
Yeah,
and you're just like, it's thrown in there in such a way that you don't believe it. It's not believable.
It's almost like too much. Like this movie, I think, over explains where it could have gotten away with just telling, like Shay said, a cool 90-minute story where she's taken on this adventure, has to get out of it somehow, because the ingredients are all there. Channing Tatum is so funny. When he's doing comedy, he sells it. He sells it so well. He is so funny. He just goes for it, especially as a like a Fabio like cover model. Like he I believe that.
Yep.
And then Sandra Bullock is great. She's beautiful. She's so funny, and it just seeing her and their chemistry in this movie, it's great. And then you have Daniel Radcliffe in the mix, who's a lot of fun. But yeah, there's a lot of stops that this movie makes that I think pull back on the pacing a lot, and especially with Beth's story, I think we could have lifted that right out of the
film,
right out of the movie, and really tightened this up to tell a really cool and funny romantic comedy.
There's definitely the right ingredients in this film, and again, I know it sounds like we're kind of tearing it apart, but
no, not at all.
No, we had a great time with this film.
Yeah, it was a fun movie.
But I think we see the potential of how amazing this movie could have been. I think this movie had the potential to become something like 21 Jump Street, like Game Night, all those films that really just kind of embraced what they were.
Yeah.
This movie tried to become a romance comedy, but also just a comedy, and it kind of gets muddled a little bit.
Yeah, it reminds me a little bit too. Remember after we were just talking about this movie too, Tag.
Yes.
Whereas like the concept of this is really great, but I think there was this. It was almost too. You complicated too much by introducing too many elements to it. But at the end of the day, it is just a really fun romantic adventure and date movie, right? When I think it still delivers in that. There may be a little bit more baggage than you need, but it's still still a fun time.
No, I agree.
Let's get to our final recommendations. But before we do, I just want to remind you that you could follow the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd at The Movie Podcast. We're still on the hunt to get 200 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts here in Canada. So if you're a fan of ours, tell your family, tell your friends, make sure they drop us a 5 stars, steal their phone, steal their iPad, do whatever you need to do. Just make sure, help us get to that 200 stars. We're almost there. Anthony, I'm going to get you to start us off with your final recommendations for The Lost City.
My recommendation is to add it to your queue. It's not something that you have to rush to the theater to watch, but this would be great to watch at home, date night at home type of thing, with your loved ones, and even... I don't know if this is not a family movie, so I wouldn't watch it with your family unless they're a lot older. But I would say add it to your queue.
Awesome. Shahbaz, how about yourself?
Yeah, same here. Add it to your queue. I think that if you want to go see it in theaters, go on a night where maybe it's not as expensive. Go on a date night for sure. Maybe the VIP theater or something like that.
Yeah, Tuesday VIP theater.
VIP theater, but you're safe to watch this at home. It's a lot of fun. What is it? Make some popcorn.
Make some popcorn?
Yeah.
Are you saying that's a saying? That's just an instruction.
I'm going to make that a saying.
Make some popcorn?
Make some popcorn.
Make some popcorn
you say
and
it's so
some
threatening.
babies.
Yeah. What did you say?
Well,
what?
Make some popcorn and some babies.
Oh, I was going to break some knees. I'm like, but that's worse than mine. No,
make some popcorn, make some babies.
I want that. That'd be a great movie podcast. Sure.
Make some popcorn, make some babies?
Make some popcorn and make some babies. I like that. I'd wear that shirt.
I am wearing that shirt.
And it's just, and it's just like just little kernels.
Did you say yo at us?
Yeah, and it's because the idea, my idea said yo at you guys. That's not me. That was my idea.
You told me to shut up?
Yeah. The little kernels are what?
Like there's little kernels and then there's the big kernels.
Babies.
You know, there's like some like
Someone's stealing this idea.
the popcorn. The fully popped popcorns are like the parents, and there's like little kernels there that
But
are
someone's
about
stealing
to pop.
our idea now. You're saying it and it's live.
But I said it, so we've claimed it as ours.
Oh, that's true.
Make some popcorn.
Don't
Make some
Make some popcorn.
It's done.
Make some popcorn, comma.
Make some babies. Like that's
my. You know what? That's my rating for the film.
that's awesome. I love that. That's that again. Anthony's back with the
Something's come out
It was
of my
both of
head
us,
and
though. It was
I'm
both of
like,
us.
Anthony's like, wait, was that good?
It's like a Halo.
I get it. What's I'm like, what did I just do?
what did I say?
Should I go on YouTube, guys?
Guys, for me, like Anthony said, make some popcorn, make some babies. I think you'll have a good time with this movie at home. Add it to your queue, or like Shay said, or if you're looking for a date night, I think it would be a fun movie. I wish this movie came out in February. I think it would have been a good Valentine's Day movie, but again, like I think Anthony mentioned, I think it'll be fine no matter where it comes out because people are always, people just don't go out on Valentine's Day. They go out.
Yeah. But this is a great movie that like both of you can, but like if you're in a relationship and whatever relationship you're in, you'll both enjoy.
And here's the thing, this is a great relation test movie because then you'll be able to see, hold on a second, would we survive the situation? And if the answer is no, then you know to
Break it
end
off,
it.
eh?
No popcorn and
Kill
no
them.
babies that night.
Kill them as
15
well.
years of marriage.
Oh my god.
15?
This is what
The Sandra Bullock movie.
they've been
watching
waiting.
this movie?
They've been waiting for this movie to come out to test their marriage.
With 4 kids already and a down
Guys,
payment on a
my
house.
we're getting a
Lord.
divorce.
Oh my
But
god.
we're still in the movie.
Kids, we just watched Lost City and we're getting a divorce.
No, but yeah, make some popcorn, make some babies. You'll have a good time with it. I do like that the roles were reversed in this movie as well too, between like what a traditional like male character in this movie would
Yeah.
be versus what a female character would
Yeah,
be in
a lot of
a
great
romantic
stuff.
comedy. I had a lot of fun, and those are where those echoes of like that meta nature that we love come in. But it was so close to being in those like classic categories where it just at its worst it's still just a fun movie,
Yeah.
which is not a bad place to be.
Not a bad place.
Thank you so much for listening to the movie podcast review of The Lost City. Thank you to our friends at Paramount Pictures Canada for the invite to watch it. You can catch it in theaters this Friday, March 25th. As always, you can catch a brand new episode of the movie podcast every single Monday. There's a new one out right now. Also, look out for all of our review episodes and all the latest movies and series. Make sure you follow us at the Movie Podcast on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Letterboxd. Drop us a 5 stars. Join our Discord. Follow us on YouTube at The Movie Podcast and write into the show at hello@TheMoviePodcast.ca. Thank you so much for listening again. That was This Time with The Movie Podcast, and we'll see you next.